this video, we're going to look at the last element of the game, the rules, and we're going to look at the ones that concern with what happens on the field. Now, we've already looked at two elements which have rules, or rules are involved with them. The goals, that's how you score. You can't score any other way than in the goal, to the target player, into the end zone, on the line, whatever. That is a rule. And the field. The field provides the rules of what's in and out of play. Now, these are the rules which get the game going, make soccer what it is, and these are the ones that a lot of coaches are most familiar with in terms of changing the game and getting a learning objective. Now, there are two broad categories for the rules, and that all depends on where the players are going to be when there's a restart. So one category will be the reload games. Now, the situation here is, whenever the ball goes out of the play, the players must return to a preset designated position. So for this example, it's 2 versus 2. The team in possession starts with the ball in front of their goal, and their opponents start in front of their goal. So the players come out and they play a little 2 versus 2 game. They can pass back and forth, they can dribble, they can tackle, they can counterattack, but once the ball is out of play, oops, it's out on blue. Well, red gets the ball and they have to come back over here. Blue goes back over there. Now red starts with the ball, they come out and they play, they dribble, they tackle, and suddenly the ball goes out over here off of red. Okay, blue, you get the ball and you come back over here, and you guys go back over there. Now that contains all the moments of the transitions and things like that, but what happens is that these games are very short. Maybe a few seconds, 20, 30 seconds maybe at the most, before the ball goes out and the players have to return to their positions. You can also see where you'd have other players waiting to take their turn. Now the problem with these games is that they start to feel like a coach's game very quickly. Players start to think, oh, here we go, this is what the coach wants us to do, and the games never really build up ahead of speed or ahead of steam. They never really get going, because as soon as the players are involved in the game, they have to go back and reload their positions. The upside to these games is that you can get to those mini moments every time you restart the game. Whatever it is you want, you make that the situation where we're going to start at that moment. So you have a back line that can't handle the ball in the air from a goalkeeper's punt. Every time the ball starts, you have your back line back up, and the goalkeeper punts the ball. The game goes from there. So it's a balance that you have to strike between what you want to get at and the price you're going to pay in terms of the player's interest. Now, the other form of the game is just a free-form game, and that's the game everyone's used to here. When the ball goes out of play, okay, it's over here. Well, we'll bring it over here, and we don't care where we are. The players can be absolutely anywhere. There's no downtime, no lag in between when the ball leaves the field or when there's an infraction and the game restarting. So free-form games are a lot more like regular games. You don't have to limit how the player plays the ball in. You can still get these mini moments here. You can say, okay, the mini moment is player's choice restart. Do you pass or do you dribble? Or maybe you have a situation where the coach plays a ball in. Every time the ball goes out of play, the coach plays a new ball in, and they put the ball up in the air, and the players have to battle for it and do whatever. So you still have many moments involved off of the restart. Now, the next element of the rules is going to be when you put a limiting factor in the game, and that's going to be when you have the limiting factor is on both teams. Examples of that are two-touch, where the players can only touch the ball twice. There you want to get a situation where the players are dribbling. Or the ball cannot stop. You cannot let the ball die. So both teams, when the players get the ball, they must keep the ball moving. Limiting factors mean you must do something or not do something in order to do something else. So in two-touch, you cannot touch the ball more than twice. All right, if you do that, it goes to the other team. So that's a way of influencing the game by putting in the rules something that the teams need to do. You recognize a problem in the team, something you want to work on, and you make that rule the focus of the game. Now, you can use the rules to equalize a disparity between the teams. Here's an example, 4 blue against 3 red. So you tell blues, okay, before you score, you need to make 3 passes, hold the ball. With reds, you don't need to make 3 passes. This is such a, you get the ball, you go. So if you have a player or two that really dominate in your practices or your training sessions, you may need to make an adjustment within the game to get a balance between the teams. So equalizing rules generally apply to just one team or even one player. You can tell this one player over here, the superstar, look, today you only have 2 touches, so you need to get the ball and knock it off, because every time you get the ball, you're able to run through the whole field. You can score at will. So what I want you to do is coach the other players, get the ball, distribute, and you play that way. And now you can get a more balanced game within your training session. Another way to adjust the rules in the game to get something you're looking for is to have what would be consequence rules. Now, one example here is winner stay. Winner stay means you need 3 teams. 2 teams are playing 2 versus 2 on the field for a short period of time. At the end of the 2, 3, 4-minute game, the winners stay on the field, the losers go off, and the third team comes off. So here blue wins, red comes off the field, now yellow comes on to play. They play again, this time blue loses, so blue goes off the field, and yellow plays red. Now, there's a lot of thinking that you keep the kids involved all the time moving, active. But there's a cost to that, is that kids sometimes don't learn how to deal with this. Another thing that happens too is, as the coach, you can now approach these kids that are out and say, well, what did you do wrong? What did you do right? How do you think you're going to play the next game? And you get them involved in making a plan for when they go on in 3, 4 minutes, however long the game is. So you use this time to coach these players, because obviously they had a problem. How are you going to solve the problem in the next game? Now, one thing you want to be careful of with the rules is to only use as many as you absolutely need. Additional rules just to have rules, usually works against the quality of the game. And another thing to be concerned with is that when you put rules like limiting factors into a game, sometimes they'll work against you. There's a rule of you have to pass the ball 3 times before you can score. So blue has the ball here, they pass, red intercepts, and all of a sudden 3 passes doesn't look like a good idea or a good rule. This player, you all know this player needs to go score. So putting rules in, you use them long enough to get your point across, and then get these special rules out. The kids are not there to become referees, they're there to learn how to play. And the rules are just one element that you can use to help them do that. But use them judiciously. Use as few as possible to get your point across, and then get them back in the basic game as soon as you can.